in London. The first one was called Alice. The second girl was Bernie. So it was Alice and Bernie. So they bunked together in the same room. And when they got up in the morning, Bernie checked her purse and found that her £100, £20 note, 5 pieces, British pounds, were missing. She was puzzled because, she didn't go anywhere, and the only person in the room with her was Alice. So she, of course, suspected or very sure that Alice stole her money. So she accused Alice, said, I want to check your purse, your wallet. So, of course, Alice felt insulted. Although they were friends, but still, how can you accuse me, she said. So there was a big commotion. They called the in-flight supervisor up, and he came down to try to mediate, settle the case. But it was impossible because the two girls were arguing and screaming at each other. Because, so the supervisor asked Bernie, what proof have you got that Alice stole your money? So she took out a piece of note from handbag and she handed it to the in-flight supervisor. It was the serial number of the £20 note, 5 pieces, the serial number on the notes. And then the supervisor asked Alice to hand over the money, and he checked, and they correspond exactly the same. So this Alice was the one who stole, because this Bernie was very smart. She always write down her serial number, the money serial number. So again, they were screaming and quarreling, and then the supervisor called the security office, hotel security, and the two security men came down and tried to settle the case. Of course, the security was very convinced that Alice stole the money because they saw the serial number and the notes, the 5 pieces of £20 notes, they correspond, you see. So they asked Alice to return the money and apologize to Bernie. Of course, Alice refused. She said it was her money and Bernie was a liar. But the hotel security said, no, you are the liar. You are the thief. There's sufficient proof because from this slip of paper with the serial number, you are definitely the thief. So Alice was so mad. She took out a piece of paper from her handbag and she handed it to the security officer. And to their surprise, Alice's piece of paper also had the same serial number correspond with the notes. So she said that proves that the money is mine. But the supervisor, the security officers were all puzzled, shocked. How could that be? Well, Alice was mad. Alice said, I don't care. I'm going to make it a legal case against the hotel because you accused me in front of Bernie and the supervisor that I was a thief. She demanded for apology. Okay, so they said, all right, they'll come back to her. So they went down and consulted the management, and in the end, they compensated Alice some money and said, let's forget the case. We closed the case and we split the money for the £100, 50 each, and they compensated, I heard, around £2,000. So the case was settled, and the girls went back to their own respective rooms. A few days after they arrived at Singapore, some crew saw this Alice and Bernie together in a posh restaurant, in a posh hotel, were having dinner. Wow. So they are in cahoot with one another? We don't know. So this is my story, and it is real.